time per household.
News Talk 610 AM and 102.1 FM. KVNU.
KVNU News Time is 4:03. I'm Bill Walter with this news update. And nearly 44 million Americans are expected to travel at least 50 miles from home over the Memorial Day weekend, which may make it the busiest in about 2 decades, according to AAA. The automotive organization also believes it's a sign that this summer may draw in a lot of traveling. Most people are expected to drive, as is the case every year. AAA estimates that about 38.4 million Americans will hit the roads over the long weekend, a projected increase of 4% from last year and a 1.9% increase from before the COVID-19 pandemic in 2019. That could cause some travel delays, including in Utah. UDOT traffic engineer said Wednesday the drivers should prepare for heavier than usual traffic throughout the weekend. Could result in some big delays on major roadways. UDOT will suspend construction projects and open as many lanes as possible, as the agency typically does for holiday weekends. But officials warn drivers that there could be some additional delays in areas where construction is happening. Meanwhile, Salt Lake City International Airport is anticipating about 30,000 passengers going through its doors both today and Friday, according to Salt Lake City Police. AAA estimates that a little over 3.5 million Americans will hit the skies this weekend, which is a 4.8% increase from 2022 and a 9.3% jump from 2019. KVNU News Time is 4:05. KVNU weather for tonight. Later on tonight, becoming mostly clear. Clouds going away, patchy frost after midnight, low in the mid-30s, and then sunny to partly cloudy, warmer on Friday, high temperature in the upper 60s. The rest of the Memorial Day weekend, slight chance of rain showers Friday night, good chance of rain showers, slight chance of thunderstorms on Saturday, 40% chance Saturday night, and then Sunday and Monday, pretty nice, mid-60s on Sunday, mid-70s on Memorial Day on Monday. Again, 54 has been the high. It's 53 right now at KVNU. KVNU News Time is 4:05. The identity has been released of the semi-truck driver who was killed when his vehicle lost control and plummeted into Deer Creek Reservoir. Officials with the Utah Department of Public Safety identified the man as 62-year-old Richard Bowman. He was from Torrey, Utah, in Wayne County. Bowman was driving a semi hauling a tanker full of propane on US 189 when officials said he went off the road. The semi jackknifed before going through a guardrail and into the water below. The semi cab was submerged into the cold reservoir. The tanker was partially submerged and leaked its load of propane into the air. Diving crews had a hard time locating Bowman after the crash. His body was found in the cab after the truck was pulled out of the reservoir. It was not clear why the semi lost control and went over the guardrail. Officials said the cause of the crash remained under investigation. US 189 was closed for nearly 24 hours while crews worked at the scene. And the Utah State Auditor on Wednesday released updated numbers as the office sifted through more than 12,000 fake complaints submitted in protest to the state's new transgender exclusionary public restroom law. The Office of the Utah State Auditor's role was written into the law, though the office was not consulted. State Auditor John Dougal said in a previous statement, the law requires his office to maintain an online portal for complaints about potential violations. Nonetheless, the tip line has seen a barrage of messages that Dougal called frivolous at best and transparent hoaxes at worst. Of the thousands of complaints sent in protest, Dougal said his office identified 5 that warranted further investigation. The nature of those complaints were not disclosed, but Dougal noted that none of them detail a clear allegation of a violation of statute. The auditor's office is in charge of assessing financial operations and law compliance for state and local government. Dougal's office offered a few examples of what the office typically does, stating it's tasked with performing financial audits, conducting federal funds compliance audits, providing local government oversight, conducting agency and program performance audits, performing fraud and compliance audits, and operating the state auditor hotline for citizens to report suspected financial issues or improprieties. He said at the time that he thinks there were much better ways for the legislature to go about addressing their concerns rather than that type of approach. KBNU News Time is 4:08. For more details on these and other stories, visit CacheValleyDaily.com.
Get your news from KVNU 610 AM and 102.1 FM.
Hi, I'm Frank Myler, candidate for Utah State Attorney General, and I approve this message. This is the first real chance I've had to talk directly to voters, because leading up to the state convention, I actually was finishing up a 12-day jury trial, filed a 10th Circuit Court of Appeals brief, and filed a brief in the U.S. Supreme Court fighting the feds in eastern Utah. I was more concerned about protecting the rights of citizens than playing politics. I'm prepared day one to help defend civil cases and to prosecute criminal cases, and I will be there to fight the feds and push back against their overreach. This is what I focused on as an attorney, and this is what an attorney general actually should be. Utah needs an AG with trusted experience, an AG who will make sure that the law is interpreted and enforced correctly. When you get your ballot, vote for Frank Myler. This ad is paid for by the Frank Myler for Attorney General campaign.
Cache Valley Cruising.
Cache Valley's biggest summer party is almost here. The Cache Valley Cruise-In, July 4th, 5th, and 6th at the Cache County Fairground. This year, the Cruise-In is going Motown with the Commodore. And opening act, the Temptations Review, featuring the legacy of Dennis Edwards. This year, all seats are assigned. So buy your tickets now to ensure you get the best seats available. The giveaway car is a beautifully restored 1950 Ford F3 pickup. And your ticket to the car show is your chance to win the truck. 3 days of fun includes the annual poker run, Women's World, Top Rod of Utah, a sock hop, and more.
Cache Valley Cruising. Cache Valley Cruising.
July 4th, 5th, and 6th at the Cache County Fairgrounds.
For the people.
We are waiting with bated breath for news from the Cache Republican Party meeting an executive committee tonight.
With Jason Williams.
And I'm really excited about this next segment. We have two guests here in studio. We're going to talk about something that we've talked about many times here on the show, but from a bit of a different angle.
Weekday afternoons from 4 till 6 on News Talk KVNU, 610 AM and 102 FM.
Welcome to KVNU's For the People. It is Thursday, May 23rd. I'm Jason Williams, Bill Walter here in the studio as well. And For the People Theater Hour to kick things off here on the show today. We're all kind of a little lethargic. We all had a big lunch. Part of our sending Al Lewis off into retirement, and big lunch event today to
and now they've strung the big party letters happy retirement here in the studio, and so I guess
I didn't even notice.
If they keep that there, as each one of us retires, we can have our picture taken with that in the background.
Leave it up there permanently just in case. But man, 52 years, and he's not done. He'll be you'll hear him on air all throughout next week, but a week from tomorrow is Al Lewis's final radio broadcast on the morning show for KVNU. He did kind of slip up a little bit today, though. I noticed. He said, who knows, in a couple of months I might find myself getting bored and want to do a little of this here and there. So you might hear Al Lewis some more occasionally. I'm trying to talk him into being a regular crank caller on the show.
Using a pseudonym.
Using a pseudonym. We'll just call him Dan. But everyone will hear the voice and know who it is, and he'll complain about traffic and the weather. And
He isn't going to call in as Uncle Fester?
Uncle Fester, I think, would be great. And I learned...
No, Grandpa Munster.
Oh, yeah, Grandpa Munster.
That's right.
He shares
right.
the same name
Yeah.
as actor Al Lewis, who played Grandpa Munster.
And he met him.
Yeah.
I learned that today
Yeah.
at the luncheon.
Yeah.
So...
And I think the senior Al Lewis has also been involved in sports.
That's right.
And, of course, acting and stuff.
It's, it's bittersweet for all of us. Everybody's excited for Al, and he's definitely earned it, but it's going to be strange not to have him around the studio every day, here and there, or hearing him on the morning show every morning. And I'm really concerned what an unsupervised Craig Hislop gets up to, though. That has, I don't think anybody's really thinking about that yet, but...
Have they announced a replacement for him?
Not yet, but somebody's got to be there to wrangle Craig. I know it'll be Bill a lot next week, filling in, and
Who knows?
yeah, we have a lot of folks on vacation right now as well.
I'm gonna have to listen to that.
Yeah, Bill wrangling Craig Hislop. Yeah,
Yeah.
Craig, such a troublemaker. All right, for the People Theater Hour getting underway here. It has been fun to. A quick update. I've been in talks with Levi Hopkins again about getting some of the USU students before they all move on to what USU students are planning after graduation. Some of them are headed to the East Coast. One headed out of country for a acting job they got. But he's going to work and see if he can get 3 or 4 of them to come down and join us for about 20 minutes on a show soon before the end of June. So a little update on that front.
We need to be a little careful of that because I'm working with getting Wendy in to talk about her $30,000 fundraising campaign to bring Broadway back to the Lyric.
I would hope she's so successful.
And she also wants to come in on the 18th and talk about 18th of July.
Oh, okay.
And
We'll be
talk
good on
about
that
her
one.
next season.
Yeah, the touring season announcement.
Yep.
That is, there's so much going on right now. Just going through the calendar today of, if you were just sitting around and thought, you know what, I'd like to go see something in downtown Logan or otherwise, well, you are in luck. It is that time of year. And I believe some early summer citizens starting to pop up around the valley.
They arrived.
Ran into some this morning.
Yeah.
Down by Great Harvest in that
really?
area. Yeah.
They arrived en masse in the Bullen Center this morning.
That was the big opening event, right?
Yep.
This is officially kicks off the
The summer season.
summer
I guess.
season. So we did also have a listener email in, and I responded to their email already, but I'll say it on air. But a listener said, I caught just a bit of the show and had to move on to another appointment. But did I hear you say that Odyssey Dance Theater is back? And I replied and said,
Yeah.
yes, that was Charlie's announcement last week, that they are reviving for Cache Valley their famous statewide draw thriller presentation. Not until September, but
And
still.
the thing is, it's not just Thriller.
Yeah.
They're putting together what looks like one company to perform Thriller up and down the state. And then they're putting together another company, and these two aren't mutually exclusive, I don't think, that will be involved in doing Derek Yeager's other choreography.
Okay.
Probably the traditional hip-hop version of the Nutcracker and those kind of things.
Oh, that's right. They do that.
So,
It's
boy, did we need that.
It's going to be a big deal.
I really enjoy that. The whole family does.
Yeah.
But it looks like they're not going to be performing at Kingsbury Hall anymore.
Yeah, which
I'm not sure if that's true or not, but that's kind of the rumor.
I feel like that's a good move for them. I mean, nothing against Kingsbury Hall. It's a great place to see a comedian or, a small band, one of the lesser-known bands, that's up and coming. But it's such a pain as a theater. Just getting there.
Just parking,
Just parking is, yeah.
You think parking is bad in downtown?
Yeah. Try to park when there's an event at Kingsbury Hall.
That's right.
Which falls on the same night as a football game.
It's got that huge loop, but it's like you can't get there from here.
Yeah. That's, this is, so Pickleville launched on the 24th.
No, Pickleville launches tomorrow.
Tomorrow is the 24th.
That's right.
Me and calendars.
You're trying to get
I'm
past,
a week ahead.
You're trying to get past Memorial Day
I've had
already.
so many conversations about what's going to happen next week because we're shorthanded, and I'm gone on Friday next week as well, and so I in my mind we're already in the last week of May. But that's right. Pickleville opens tomorrow with their Dangerville show. Welcome to Dangerville, which is kind of they're spinning off, some similar themes and characters, but this is a fully original show.
Yep, it's their summer melodrama. It debuts at 8 p.m., which is a little later than usual, but it seems like they're getting that thing into their. This summer they'll be offering a show that starts at 4:30 p.m. and then another at 8.
Oh, okay. That'll be nice, actually.
Yeah.
Get the afternoon just off the beach sunburn crowd over with at 4,
Yep.
and the rest of us at 8.
I've never been there for a real matinee that's at 1 o'clock.
I don't think I have either.
I don't know how well they do in terms of ticket sales for that show, for those shows. Maybe they do better for these later shows that, like you say, the sunburn crowd from the beach.
Yeah, because I don't think I've been there for one of the earlier ones, the 1 o'clocks either.
No,
I have been to a 4. It was packed.
Well, I think I did their show last year, the play that goes wrong.
Oh.
At a matinee, but that's
4:30.
yeah,
but later matinee?
but that's the October show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's when I also went to a 4 because the weather was not great that time of year, and when I bought my ticket, and I was thinking I wanted to get back through the canyon before, rather than coming back through at midnight in the snow, I would be coming back at 8 o'clock in the snow. Turns out it would have been better at midnight, but I didn't know that. We also we talked about this a little bit, but just to refresh everybody, May 31st, Daddy Longlegs at the Lionheart Theater. We kind of covered that last week, what that's all about, but that opens Friday, May 31st at 7:30.
And it's a 2-person show with, kind of, it's sort of a musical that's based on letters from one person to another person. So it works out with a kind of an intimate venue.
That's I'm that venue itself has me kind of excited. I feel like there's a lot of opportunity there to do different things.
They certainly seem to be having a good time running it.
Yeah, and the dinner theater thing just.
And they've got they've had a lot of Hispanic events play there. Mariachi bands.
Yeah, they had a big mariachi
kind of
band show, right?
Yeah.
That was I went. I needed to do some grocery shopping, so I went just to see the crowd in the parking lot for the night of that, and it was pretty packed.
Yeah.
I mean, there's an audience for. We've talked about this before, but there are so many venues, great venues in Logan. You can get a lot in, but that doesn't mean you're getting everything you could still. And so adding another theater that's going about it a little differently, dinner theater style, more intimate venue style, there is definitely an audience for stuff like that, and there's content galore for a theater like that, and that I think is going to be a welcome addition. I think you're going to see some things.
I wouldn't be a bit surprised to see another venue pop up somewhere around town. We could certainly handle it.
Yeah. I'm still surprised there's not like a student, not through the official theater program, but like a student-run venue that brings in. They have these. When I was at the University of Oregon, they had one that they would bring students from other universities just to kind of do a fake tour, basically. And so they'd come from other universities in California, Washington, other parts of Oregon, and they just perform one night, usually at the student theater. It was student-run on campus, and that was fun to see. And then you didn't have to do the driving. They came to you, and so I think there's an audience for that too. But I am sure that would be easier said than done.
Well, the trick is that the theater arts program keeps their students pretty busy.
Yeah, it's easy to forget they're students because you see the shows and but they have classroom work and all of that too, and then you're reminded when they graduate. But
which is sad.
Yeah, and we are nearing that time when a lot of the Cache Valley theater companies take their nod to the Utah Festival Opera and a pause, a chance for them to take a little breather.
Well, other than the lyric, nobody dares counter program to the UFOMT. I mean, that'd be crazy.
And the lyric is kind of more like, "Hey, we're next door," so of course we have something going on too.
Well, the lyric and the Utah Theater are side by side virtually.
Yeah.
And what the lyric is doing is opening their shows on Friday nights all through June and July.
Just smart.
And the UFOMT is holding up their shows. They're going to open Little Shop of Horrors on July 5th.
Oh,
which is
right.
Which is a Saturday, or which is a Friday. But other than that, they kind of avoid direct competition.
Stepping on each other.
The rest of the shows for the Festival Opera will open after Wednesday, July 10th.
Oh, okay.
Thursday, July 11th. On Friday, July 12th, they're going to open Cats, which should be interesting.
I have to go. Not a fan, but I have to see what they do with it.
That performance of Cats on Friday, July 12th is going to be an afternoon show.
That's interesting.
And then on Friday evening, they're going to debut Anything Goes.
Yeah. They've got a lot, too.
Oh, yeah.
I'd forgotten scrolling through what they have planned for the summer at the Lyric. Well, we'll talk about it. It's the For the People Theater Hour with Charlie Schill here in the studio. You're always welcome to join us, 753-5868, and we'll be back right after this.
Get ready for big savings at Daryl's Appliance. Starting May 16th, our Memorial Day special kicks off with our exclusive mail-in rebates on GE appliances. This is Jay with Daryl's Appliance. Whether you're upgrading your kitchen or laundry room, now's the time to buy. With rebates up to $500 and a $100 bonus on GE commercial top-load laundry pairs, you won't find deals like these anywhere else. Don't miss out on the chance to save big on top-quality GE appliances at Daryl's Appliance. Sale starts May 16th. Don't wait. Daryl's Appliance, your trusted source for home appliances.
Friday edition Clay Travis Buck Sexton Show will take you into the holiday weekend, breaking down the big Trump rally in the South Bronx and getting you set for the official start of summer.
Bernie Moreno, who's running for Senate in Ohio, will be in the mix, plus our friend Jesse Kelly on the rise and fall of a great American crustacean station We'll talk to you about it on Clay and Buck.
10 to 1 on News Talk KVNU, 102 FM and 610 AM.
Welcome back to KVN News for the People. Running through the upcoming show opens and more here on the For the People Theater Hour. Getting back to Charlie's spring-summer schedule list, which is lengthy. And I just mentioned before we went to that quick break that if you go to the Lyric Repertory Company website and scroll, they've got a lot and a lot happening soon. Like 4 of these are in June and July. Oh, I'm sorry. 3 are in June and July. 1 is in just July. But, yeah, they've got a lot going on.
Yeah.
Right next door to the Utah Festival Opera, starting with Shaboom.
Well, their season actually starts with what they're calling their page-to-stage introductions. It's an hour-long program at 10 o'clock in the morning on June 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th, and 7th.
Okay.
And each day they bring in a different facet of their production crew. The first day, I think, is their directors and producers who come in and talk about why we selected these particular shows.
Oh, interesting.
And then the following day, you get some backstage people, and then you get some actors, and different topics every day.
That is.
But I had a ball going to these things last year, and a lot of the summer citizens pile in there to have a chance to get to meet the actors and meet the backstage people and the producers and the directors.
That's very cool.
And it's fun. It really is.
And even just hearing why some of the decisions were, like, I want to know why they chose Paul Portner's Sheer Madness. Not that I'm criticizing that, but I'm curious what
that's a challenge.
The reasoning was. Yeah, because
that's a real challenge.
That is it's brave. And if they pull it off, it will be hilarious.
Well, it's a murder mystery in a hair salon, and the audience gets to participate by asking questions
directly
to the suspects.
Yeah,
and
in fact, you feel like you're kind of in the audience moving the story along.
The end of the show changes every night.
Yeah.
Because if the audience decides, well, he did it, well, maybe he did it, but maybe he didn't
maybe
do
not.
it.
And they're doing 8 shows.
Yes.
I notice here. That's just I really hearing how they decided to do that and how they're preparing for it would be really fun. A little behind the scenes.
I'm not terribly familiar with this particular show, but apparently it's been an audience favorite, and people have been clamoring for it for about 20 years.
Yeah, see, I didn't know that either. I saw it a long, long time ago, not knowing a thing about it, and I had a really good time. And but yeah, I just thought that's a brave thing to do, because I remember when I saw it, I remember thinking the whole time, this could go so wrong.
Yeah,
you could have a mess on your hands and no plan B. And you're only half an hour into the 2-hour show.
But these people are quick on their feet.
Yeah. You definitely have to have the right cast.
You have to have the right cast, and they've got to be prepared. But frankly, if I was doing it, I'd be scared to death.
Yeah, I would not want to be on the stage in that kind of a setting. It would be hard enough just to memorize static lines that aren't going to change. But to have, a situation where you as an actor have to consider all the possible and likely responses to a certain situation,
and you
have something witty to say.
And the audience could throw you a left, a curveball, and you don't know what to do with it.
I'd worry about the person who's seen this multiple times and has planned their curveball because there's one. There's always one. But I want to throw this out, too, before we go to the news. Speaking of Lyric Repertory Company, Don't Sleep. Charlie saw this last year, and I didn't get a chance to, but from what Charlie said, I plan to make it this year. But don't sleep on their Interact. They call it the Work Series because this is just up-and-coming playwrights, sometimes just sort of reading, but also doing a very raw, roughly sketched out production, no set or anything like that.
Well, we're not sure.
Yeah, maybe.
Richie Call is playing this pretty close to his vest, but he tells me that in past years they have 3 different shows. They have 3 different Interact shows, but what they're going to do is the same event, the same play, three times.
That's interesting.
For this particular offering.
That's it's just such a unique idea and a unique thing to get out and see, and that is also happening in June. So you got to start putting some of the stuff on your calendar if you want to make it to all of it. It's a theater season is upon us. We'll be back with more of Charlie Schill and the For the People Theater Hour, running through Charlie's spring and summer schedule as much as we have left of it here. We've got to get on it. We're not getting very far through this schedule. It's 4 pages of stuff happening just in one summer. So we'll get back to it after the news with KVNU's Bill Walter.
Thank you, Jason. KVNU News Time is 4:34, and the news is brought to you by Logan Extermination. The family of a West Jordan, Utah man caught up in a failed coup attempt in Congo says that their son was in Africa on vacation with family friends and had not previously engaged in political activism. Tyler Thompson's stepmother, Miranda Thompson, says in a statement provided to the Associated Press that they have no idea how he got wrapped up in the situation, which is completely out of character for him. Thompson was among at least 3 Americans who were named by the Congolese army as being part of a failed effort to overthrow the government in Kinshasa in the early hours of Sunday morning. A grizzly that bit into a can of bear repellent while attacking a hiker in Grand Teton National Park was likely defending a cub at the time and will not be captured or killed by authorities. Signal Mountain in western Wyoming, where the attack occurred, is still closed to visitors 3 days after the violent encounter. The grizzly bit the man several times, then fled after biting into his can of repellent and getting a dose of pepper spray. The 35-year-old Massachusetts man made it to safety and spent a night in the hospital. Park officials say the bears acted naturally in their own defense. And the Navajo Nation Council has unanimously approved a proposed water rights settlement that carries a price tag larger than any such agreement enacted by Congress. The tribe has one of the largest single outstanding claims in the Colorado River Basin, and today's vote marks one of many approvals needed to finalize a deal that has been years in the making. Aside from ensuring water deliveries for the Navajo, Hopi, and San Juan Southern Paiute tribes, the settlement also provides some certainty over the Colorado River supply in a state that has been forced to cut back on water use. KVNU News Time is 4:36.
Do you have a nasty weed problem? We have the right person for you. Sir, you work for Logan Extermination, don't you? Can you help these folks get rid of pesky dandelions?
Of course I can help. I am the Terminator. I will terminate those little yellow devils in your yard. Call me at Logan Extermination, 752-8450.
May special. Terminate your weeds and green up your lawn for only $45, based on maximum 5,000 square feet.
ABC News, I'm Daria Aldinger. The big holiday getaway is underway. Heather Referen, a public affairs manager at Philadelphia International Airport.
It looked like the volume was picking up pretty heavily at the security, but I got the early flight out. So, yeah, just looking forward to a great weekend. Looks like the weather's going to cooperate, which is great, and I'm excited about, kicking off the summer.
He's actually a traveler who traveled to Philadelphia International Airport, where the TSA says numbers could reach pre-pandemic levels. California Governor Gavin Newsom signed a law which allows Arizona doctors to perform abortions in the state. It's meant to circumvent Arizona's pre-Civil War ban on almost all abortions. Ohio Governor Mike DeWine will call state lawmakers into special session next week in an effort to pass legislation that ensures President Biden is on the state's 2024 ballot. The Dow fell more than 600 points today. This is ABC News.
KVNU weather for tonight. Becoming mostly clear later tonight. Patchy frost developing after midnight, low in the mid-30s. Sunny to partly cloudy, warmer. Patchy frost in the morning, but burning off in upper 60s for the high Friday afternoon. Slight chance of rain showers Friday night. Good chance of showers on Saturday. Maybe a thunderstorm, high in the low 60s. Before sunny skies prevail on Sunday, mid-60s. Sunny on Monday, Memorial Day, mid-70s for the high. It's been to 54. It's 53 right now at KBNU. Don't get trapped by an air duct cleaner on social media. Call a company you can trust, a local company. Call the Duct Hunter in Logan, 435-770-4813. You can always get more news at CashValleyDaily.com. Let's get a business update now, brought to you by Edward Jones.
From ABC News, Wall Street now. When the Fed speaks, the markets listen, and they close near their session lows. The Dow plunged 606 points for its worst day since March of 2023. The S&P gave up 39, and the Nasdaq closed down 66. Even blockbuster earnings from NVIDIA this week couldn't help stocks. Investors reacted to the minutes from the Fed's latest meeting. Central bankers now say that inflation is not cooling off fast enough. It's so much more slowly than expected that it may be not possible to cut a key interest rate this year at all. Add to that geopolitical worries and the importance economy is expected to play in the presidential election, and it's left the markets more than volatile. One reason for inflation is a robust job market. The Labor Department says first-time unemployment claims fell by 8,000 last week as layoffs remain historically low. Weekly claims are considered a proxy for layoffs. Daria Albinger, ABC News.
Here's Chad Norton, the lawn doctor, with a tip for your lawn.
Warmer temperatures have both weeds and grass competing for space in your yard. Dandelions, thistle, clover, morning glory will all be kept under better control when you have us applying pre-emergence and weed control. At the same time, we can feed your grass to make sure it wins the battle and keep it lush and growing all season long. Regular visits from the lawn doctor will help your lawn be healthier and pest-free.
Fertilizer, weed, and pest control. Call Chad Norton, the lawn doctor, at 753-LAWN. Follow them on Facebook or go to LawnDoctorCashValley.com.
Welcome back to KVNU's For the People Theater Hour with Charlie Schill here in the studio. Running through Charlie's spring and summer schedule. Charlie types this up every year for the massive amount of theater events that are going on in Cache Valley all the way until the end of the year. And this isn't even complete because Wendy will add things. Other things will pop up that aren't announced yet, but even with what we know is going to happen between now with Pickleville opening their original production, Welcome to Dangerville, this weekend, and then skipping all the way ahead to the Christmas Carol on December 5th at Skyview High School.
That's quite a skip.
That's quite a skip, and this is 4 pages, 3 pages of tightly spaced events. Just honestly amazing stuff. And where do you want to start? This is, we kind of talked a little bit about the page. I had the website open.
Page to Stage.
Page to Stage. That happens in the daytime, right?
That's right.
This isn't an evening
From 10
event.
to 11.
Okay.
through from June 3rd, that's a Monday, through Friday, June 7th.
Okay.
And then on Saturday night, the Lyric is holding its launch party, which is a new event that they haven't done before. And it's, kind of like a gala.
Oh, completely separate from a show.
Yeah.
A launch party. Okay.
And it's going to be held at the Bluebird.
Oh, cool.
Which is reopening, I guess, just for that.
Wow.
And
good reason to reopen.
I suppose. And it should be a fun event.
That's very cool. Having an opening gala is not a bad idea.
Well, they've kind of done things like that. They had a street party one year, I recall.
Yeah.
But this is going to be a little fancy. Tickets are a little pricey, but it's a benefit.
Yeah.
So.
That's.
And they're going to announce their 2025 season,
which is
at the launch party.
Which is going to be an exciting announcement. Just, I think we're all. I'm still sitting here looking at this season, thinking, "Wow," but they're going to announce the next as that gets underway. And have they done this before? I noticed at the Lyric Theater website, you can also buy tickets for, and I've never noticed this before, 10 a.m. Several times in June and July, 5 different opportunities for a Lyric Theater tour. It's a ticketed event. It's cheap. It's $10. I don't remember them doing that before.
No, I don't think so.
That's very cool.
And I think that's a fairly recent addition to their website.
Yeah, I don't remember this even looking last week. But that's the first is Tuesday, June 18th. There's another on the 25th, then July 9th, July 16th, and July 23rd.
Well, they're trying to horn in on a little bit of the UFO's glory, which they do with. They have tours and informal events about to get you prepared for their.
How interesting
for the Festival Opera's season. So
smart thing to do. Get the summer citizens in at 10 in the morning for a backstage tour of the theater. Oh, it looks like you even get to see the dressing rooms. That's a historic theater. That kind of a fun event. But yeah, that wasn't there last week.
Yeah, that's that. It should be fairly limited because there ain't a lot of room back there.
I don't think you could tour more than 5 people through those little halls at a time.
I was surprised. I did a cameo when they did Arsenic and Old Lace.
Oh,
and it was the first time I'd ever realized how tiny the stage was.
That was,
and then we went backstage, and it's fairly intimate back there.
Sort of. Yeah, I've never been beyond the curtain, but that stage, I've been on the stage.
There ain't no curtain.
Yeah, that's true. There isn't a curtain. I've never been beyond the little black backing that you walk around to get backstage. But there was a former representative, Ed Red, held an event there once and asked me to moderate. And I remember standing on that stage thinking, this looks bigger from the audience.
It sure does. And last year when they were doing the Vasco Call Spotlight concerts, which they're now in the form of a kind of like a talk show and a variety show. They were doing that on the stage that was set for the Wonderful or the Marvelous Wonderettes or whatever it was.
Oh yeah,
and the whole stage was drawn to perspective. All the scenery was drawn to perspective to give you the impression that it was a deep stage, that this gymnasium that the girls were performing in.
Make it look huge.
Was huge. Well, it ain't, folks.
No, and they're not as far away from that backdrop as you think when they're on the stage. It's like 2.5 feet behind them. Yeah, it's... I remember that as well when they did. It's a movie, we've talked about it before. Wait Until Dark. They did that at the Lyric.
Yeah,
and I remember they managed to make that, even though the set is just an apartment, an interior set. They managed to make that look way bigger than I know it could have been on that stage. They do some cool things with perspective.
The thing you have to understand is that the fly system is no longer operative in that theater.
Oh, really?
One of the things they were talking about
I
doing
didn't know that.
Was replacing that fly system, but they haven't got around to it yet. But so
I didn't know that.
Everything they build on that stage is built, solid. There isn't any curtain coming down in front or in back.
Oh,
any kind of a backdrop that they can drop. They just don't have the ability to do it.
That's interesting.
Which presents them with some interesting challenges.
That'd be challenging.
Yep.
That would be. They managed to cover for it well. And speaking of, you mentioned the perspective on the set of The Marvelous Wonderettes. The lyric opens, Shaboom, Life Could Be a Dream, a spin-off of The Marvelous Wonderettes.
It's a all-male version of the female Marvelous Wonderettes.
I love this setup. Last summer you met the Marvelous Wonderettes. Now, this summer, hear from the Crooning Crab Cakes, who couldn't perform at the prom in the plot of the Marvelous Wonderettes. That's so for everyone not familiar with this is of course kind of a highlight reel of 50s and 60s classic hits.
It's a jukebox musical.
Yeah, Earth Angel, Only You, I Only Have Eyes for You, things like that. But this, I think this is a fun thing for people to see.
It's like Forever Plaid, if you're familiar with that show.
Oh yeah, that's a fun one too.
Yeah.
That's the one where you're watching along and realize you know a lot more of these songs than you think.
Which reminds you how old you are.
That's right. How long you've been listening to the classics on the radio that were once the ones you were listening to in high school. But this is, and then from there they move on to, this is an odd transition, but they move on from something fun and jukebox-like, as you said, Shaboom, Life Could Be a Dream. They move right to Noel Coward.
Yeah, Hay
Fever.
Which is a hilarious show.
Yeah, about a whole different kind of comedy and entertainment.
This Noel Coward writes all these very refined British humor type shows.
Yeah,
Hay Fever's kind of a departure from that.
Yeah, it's.
But it's good. It's very good.
I really, and it's funny that it is as good as it is because when you read the plot of the play, you kind of think, that does not sound interesting.
But it is.
Yeah. That. By the way, everything we're talking about, tickets are available now from the Lyric Theater tours, which are new. They weren't there on the calendar last week. They've been added since. And both of these shows we've talked about so far, but a lot more of Charlie's spring and summer schedule list to get to, so we'll keep it going here on the For the People Theater Hour with Charlie Schill right after this.
I'm Jason Walton, the only Republican political outsider running for the United States Senate. Are you tired of paying more but getting less? Food, gas, interest rates, they've all gone up. Sending more career politicians to Washington is not the solution. They're the problem. They're addicted to spending money we don't have on things we don't need. They're causing inflation as the federal debt goes up and the value of our money goes down. My opponents are big spending career politicians. Trent Staggs, 11 years politicking. Brad Wilson, 14 years. And John Curtis, as a Democrat, began 24 years ago. I'll stop runaway inflation by forcing politicians to spend only what we give them by passing a balanced budget amendment within 2 terms, or I won't run for re-election. If the other candidates won't make you that promise, then they care more about their careers than about our country. I'm Jason Walton, a candidate for the United States Senate, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Friends of Jason Walton for Senate.
Cache Valley Ear, Nose, and Throat and the Allergy Clinic now have an office located inside the Miller Medical Building in Tremonton. Every Friday, Northern Utah's premier ear, nose, and throat medical physicians and staff will provide Box Elder County a better option to be seen. Cache Valley Ear, Nose, and Throat and the Allergy Clinic are now located in Tremonton. Save time, schedule your appointment today. Go to CacheValleyENT.com. That's CacheValleyENT.com for details. Most insurance products, including SelectMed, are accepted.
Join us each week for Music in the Spoken Word featuring the Tabernacle Choir at Temple Square, the longest-running continuous weekly network broadcasting the world. Each episode features modern and traditional arrangements of spiritual, classical, and contemporary music and a timely, inspiring message. Truly an uplifting program that will have you returning each week. Music and the Spoken Word with the Tabernacle Choir.
Sunday mornings at 8 and again in the afternoons at 6 on News Talk KVNU.
Welcome back to KVNU's For the People Theater Hour with Charlie Schill here in the studio, talking everything, really, from Charlie's spring and summer schedule for the 2024 summer season, which is getting underway starting tomorrow, this Friday. Welcome to Dangerville opening at Pickleville, and that's kind of the official opener event for the summer summer theater season. The next Friday, Daddy Longlegs, a two-person musical at Lionheart Theater here in Cache Valley.
And then Katie Bar the Door.
Yeah, June is just one after another.
Boom, 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 boom.
The Lyric Theater, though, man, they've taken up a lot of dates here in June.
One thing we should talk about that we haven't thus far is the Lyric will again be doing their Vasco Call Spotlight concerts. That originally started as a musical review, but sort of a benefit, and now they do it as a tribute to people in the theater community who are big supporters of the Lyric, and they. What they do is record the event as a podcast, and the event is now in the format of a talk show that is moderated by Richie Call, has a onstage band, just like Jimmy Fallon, and. This year, they're going to be doing interesting. They're also going to be doing an honoring during one of the concerts, one of the spotlight events. They're going to have Stefan Espinoza and Vanessa Ballum as their honorees.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
That's a well-earned honor.
Absolutely.
That is. Stefan has been involved with so many things that have kind of built up what we, this list we're talking about and the opportunities we have to see stuff in Cache Valley.
Well,
it's been a huge part of that.
Stefan is, of course, the husband of Vanessa Ballum. And he, during the regular year, occasionally guests directs events at Utah State or the Conservatory Theater.
Oh, that's right.
That he runs. So he's definitely a part of the local theater scene, and I've yet to see him do any role badly.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just sensational. And so is Vanessa, of course.
Yeah.
Now, see, this year, Vanessa and Stefan are going to be in the cast of Guys and Dolls, but they're not going to play Sky Masterson and the brown girl. They're going to play Nathan Detroit and his girlfriend Adelaide, which is going to be a real stretch for both of them.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I sort of assumed it would be the former because that would have fit. They're doing the opposite. How funny.
Well, the last time that the UFO did Guys and Dolls, Vanessa played Sarah Brown.
Okay.
I remember the first name. Played Sarah Brown, and I don't recall whether Stefan was even in the cast of that show.
I don't remember.
But this should be interesting.
That's very cool.
It should be, yes.
That's. I wonder if that was their request or if they were challenged, or because that, like you said, that's going to be a challenge for them.
Well,
it's cool stuff though.
It's not going to be challenging. They're both terrific performers.
Yeah, they won't fail.
But it's a
different kind.
It's a different role for them.
Yeah,
probably more fun to do those other roles.
Yeah, I can see that. Just to shake it up.
Yeah.
All right. There you have it. We made it almost to mid-June in the summer summer theater season list Charlie has compiled. We'll keep chipping away at it. So join us next Thursday at 4 for another episode of the Theater Hour with Charlie Schill. You can read Charlie's work in between now and then, reviews, news stories, and more at CashValleyDaily.com. And we'll be back with hour 2 of today's show right after this here on KVNU Logan.
Know about it. Talk about it.
This nation belongs to all of us.
News Talk KVNU Logan, 610 AM and 102.1 FM.